$4.99 a gallon. Man, oh man, ethanol is that cheaper or more expensive than pump? Pump gas is $4.35 a gallon, ethanol is $4.99 a gallon. And then you don't get nearly as good of fuel mileage, but it's worth it. Well, this thing's a little bit faster than I recollect. So I've seen two separate things being discussed in the comment section regarding the Evo. The first being that I need to go through the turbo, which I agree with. I plan on doing that. And the second regarding I need to go through the valve cover, which once again, I agree with that. So the first thing I'm going to do while we have some downtime is go ahead and pull apart our valve cover. Now thankfully this is going to be very simple because she's all drilled and tapped out from when we powder coated it. Now there's nothing built up in here, of course, nothing crazy, but that's not to say that there couldn't be just little tiny pieces of sandblasting media in places that I cannot see, so it's worth it for me to go through this. The baffles I'm going to rinse off in our gasoline, and then I'll go through and pressure wash them, blow them off the compressed air, make sure they're perfectly clean. It is crazy, man, the amount of parts that a little bit of sand left in the head took out. Oil pump, cylinder head, block had to be rehoned. Crank was all messed up. Cams destroyed. Maybe I'll go through the full list later on. It sucks. Too much money to fix. Alrighty, my friends, the valve cover is all cleaned up, ready to party, and the baffles, if I can figure out how they go, are also all cleaned up and ready to party. I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if you have your valve cover drilled and tapped, Loctite is your best friend on these little guys that hold the baffles in. The final thing I need to go through is our turbocharger. I'm really hoping this is in acceptable condition because I do not want to wait around for another turbo to come in the mail. That's a lot of money. So we need to go ahead and strip this thing down. Get the manifold off, get the O2 housing off, intercooler inlet, little elbow thing removed, and then we can start pulling this thing down. I should have probably done this a while ago, just in case I do need to figure something out. We could have ordered one up a while ago, but we had other things going on, so it is what it is. Depending on how much sandblasting media was in the oil is going to kind of determine whether or not this thing is shot or it's good. Of course, I'm hoping she's good to go. But I know if you lose like a bearing, a rod bearing, or a main bearing, 9 times out of 10, it takes out the turbo as well. I mean, the shaft play, it feels perfect. So I guess that's good news. We have it stripped down to just the turbocharger itself. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this thing apart. So what we're going to do is first pull off both housings. The hot side comes off with, looks like a 10 millimeter right there. Pull that clamp. Everything should be pinned. It is, so we know exactly how it goes back together. We can set that aside. Now the compressor side can come off with this big old circlip. Alrighty. So a lot of times when I pull these apart, I'll go ahead and mark them. Now this is an EGT 62 millimeter turbo, so you can see the nut is marked to the shaft, and the nut is also marked to the compressor wheel. So we know exactly what it's balanced to which makes me comfortable that I can go ahead, pull the shaft out, pull the compressor wheel off, and just take a quick glance inside this turbo. With that nut off, the wheel comes off. And there we have it. There is our shaft. The shaft looks absolutely flawless. Now I don't want to go too deep into this thing, but I'm gonna pop this collar out. And there we have our first ball bearing. Well, this thing looks beautiful. I don't know if any grit or grime went through it, but based off of what I can tell, we should be in the clear. Well, I put the turbocharger cartridge back together, and I don't know, man. Even though this thing checks out fine and everything looks fine, if there's any grit in here, I would regret not replacing it. So we'll see. I'll think on it. I'll sleep on it. If I'm gonna replace it, I know I can order just this guy right here from AGT, and we should be good. But I just got a call, and all of our engine components are finished up at the machine shop, the new machine shop. So let's go snag those. I decided to make a quick pit stop on the way. Too bad this would gap that. It sounds quite nice. You know what we should do? Guess what we should do?
What?
We should race them.
Honey, we can do it on like a track or something.
Okay. I'm on my way to get my motor.
Right now you are?
Yeah.
Holy crap, you really drink that down.
I figured I'd have a date.
I love dates. It's a beautiful day.
You have fun in that?
So much fun, but I drove in eco mode today.
Why?
To the stand.
Why?
I was so sleepy.
Oh. Well, the exhaust would wake you up.
The real test is going to be the ride home. Because I'll have the windows down. I'll really be able to hear the engine roar. And, yep, I'll be fully awake. So many people ask, how much horsepower does this thing make? 575?
800 to the tire.
I don't know anything about it except that it's all-wheel drive and it's a hybrid.
Don't tell people it's a hybrid.
No, I don't tell people that, but people ask me and I say, yeah.
Then they're going to just think it's kind of gay. Just say that, yeah, it makes 573 or 575 or something. I mean, it can make 700 if you let me.
I'm not letting you.
You want to go for a rip in this to remind how fast it is?
No.
I got on the freeway and I did a third gear pull and it went roar.
For all I care, this could be sold tomorrow.
Bobby, this car's faster than that.
It's faster than that? I don't care about
Faster than that.
I don't care about fast. I care about coolness. And that thing's way cooler. Hey, my farm truck. Get it. Freaking look. Look.
Honey, that's way too nice for a farm truck. I understand. So this here is everything that the machine shop went through. And there's a lot of stuff in here. The whole entire oiling system they cleaned out, made sure it's all good to go. There was a few more damaged things that I had to order up. Everything is back and we should be able to knock out this engine build tomorrow. Here we have everything laid out for the engine build. Head, main, oil pump is shot. You guys can see where they marked it. Some sandblasting media went through this thing. So oil pump I had to order up. Crankshaft they were able to save. Clean the oil pan. Here's a bunch of other stuff. Our CP pistons, Manley rods, Those thankfully were fine. Pistons are in great condition. And over here we have a ton of new goodies. Bunch of gaskets, bearings, new camshaft because those got destroyed, piston rings, GSC race shaft, new oil pump. In case you guys are curious, I'm just gonna run through real quick what this failure cost my bank account. So I had to, of course, drop all the stuff off at the machine shop. The crankshaft, the block, the cylinder head, the main components of the engine, the crankshaft, thankfully, we didn't run it long enough to where it would destroy that kind of stuff. So all that was able to be either polished out or repaired. Thankfully, the head was able to be saved because that would be expensive. We're running a Manly crankshaft in here, that would have been expensive. So thankfully, like I said, we didn't run it long enough. We only put, I don't even know, 200, 300 miles on the motor. And yeah, so this is what everything cost. The machine shop labor, $1,100 for everything that they did, which obviously that's pretty expensive, but they had a ton of stuff to take care of. I had to buy new camshafts, went ahead and upgraded to a set of BCs from the HKSs. Those are $540. Brand new oil cooler, of course. Don't want any gunk in there. $200. All the new gaskets and seals from Mitsubishi, $220. New oil pump, $300. Piston rings, $100. Bearings were, I think, $120. And I think that's pretty much all the stuff that I had to order. I did decide to upgrade to the GSC race shaft. It's still like a balance shaft delete, but it's a different style. So I'm excited for that. It's much better, less pressure on the oil pump. So in total, it was $2,580, which of course isn't nothing. It's not a ton of money for a complete engine rebuild, but like I said, thankfully a ton of our stuff, the main components were still usable. So $2,500, and of course a couple weeks worth of time waiting on machine shop, waiting on parts to come in, pulling the motor. Now I got to assemble, put it back together, and I'm sure there's other little odds and ends, spark plugs, all the oils, things of that nature. But yeah, man, that's what happens when sandblasting media is left in your cylinder head. It makes its way through everything, and you got to replace a lot of stuff. So tomorrow we should be able to get this engine built, I'm hoping. And today's Thursday, Saturday, get to installing. Sunday, if I decide to come in on Sunday, get it running. If not, it'll be running Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Peace out, my homies. And I hope you like my new audio setup. Hopefully it sounds good.